So here's a little video about what we're going to be making a cake. And since everyone's been really sick recently, I thought that I would make a little video for you guys to kind of show you the process that we're going to be doing to make this cake. So I've got my sous chef here. Johnny's going to be helping us out. First thing that we're going to do is get all of your preparations ready to go. So make sure you have your cake pans, that's what they're called. Cake pans and all of your utensils and all of your mixing stuff, everything that you need to do, okay? This is the cake pan that we're going to be using to do a little shirt cake that has a tie on it. So, we've got that kind of laid off to the side. Johnny, will you clean that, please?
Sure.
Oh, and Emily wants to show you her earring. Oh, pretty. It's a clip-on earring.
Yeah.
Right now, I put in a cake mix. And let me just, hopefully you can see what I'm doing over here. The cake mix calls for 1 cup of water, 1/3 of a cup of vegetable oil, and then 3 large eggs. Okay, so we have this awesome cake mix right here, this batter, that we're going to put in, and then I'm going to mix up another cake mix to show you exactly what to do. We've already preheated our oven right here, as you can see. So once we put it in to the cake pan, it will be ready to go. You don't want to put it in the batter into the cake pan and then leave it for a long time, because the bubbles will all, it won't be good. It won't raise properly. It won't do what it's supposed to do. Cooking spray. It's called Baker's Joy cooking spray. And this is my favorite stuff that I use to, let's see, we're just gonna clean this part out just a little bit more.
Just in case.
Okay, and then we are going to, let's see if I can do this so you guys can see. Spray basically every inch of this thing. So put a nice thick coating on there. And then we are going to dump it into our cake pan.
It smells good.
It does smell good. And so one of these cake pans will take the entire cake mix. Okay, so this is what it looks like right now.
Can I help?
And we, I just like to even it out just a little bit. Okay. This is basically ready to go into the oven. It's going to probably fill all the way up to the very top of the cake pan. And then if it does go over the top, all you have to do is just cut after it gets out. And I'll show you how to do that later. We put it in the oven.
Full cake!
And I believe the time for that, that you want to do it for is, we're going to say 28 minutes for now. And that says between 26 and 31 minutes. So we put it in for 28. And that way it's a little bit over the 26, because I always feel like you need to do it a little bit longer. And then you need to, hold on, just wait, okay? And then you're going to need to test it. So what I like to do, and I'll show you this once we get to the point, is just take a toothpick and you're gonna go right down in the middle of the cake. And if it comes out and it still has batter on it, it's not ready yet. You need to leave it in for a little bit longer. If you put it in and take it out and it's clear, then it's ready and you can take it out of the oven. So let's get this next cake mix ready. All right, so we got our eggs in here without cracking any more of them onto the counter. And so we are just going to start low with the mixer. And then kind of work your way up. It's helpful, let me see, where did I put it? It's helpful to have like a scraper that you can scrape around the edge of the bowls with. So let me see, I put it down somewhere. All right, we got one. So you can see there's stuff right on the sides that's just not cutting it. So just make sure that you get all of the pieces down so it will all incorporate properly. Okay, so this is about done now. We're going to turn this off, take it off just like we did with the other one. Make sure that the batter, it gets kind of stuck on this part, so just make sure that
Just scrape it off.
scrape it all the way off like
Scrape
this.
it off. Scrape it off.
Yep.
I scrape it off.
Yep,
Feel like a song.
like Taylor Swift. All right, Johnny, you wash that, please.
Wow.
Okay, so look how pretty that looks. Nice and chocolatey. So we got this over here. We've got our pans again. Let's make sure, as you can see, we still have only 18 minutes left. So let's get these into our pans. Okay. Take one more mix of this. And then you're going to put half of the batter into one and half into the other one.
They're actually silence.
All right. So we got half in one, half in the other.
10 and 2.
It's okay to use your finger as long as your hands are clean to get it all scraped off. See, one thing that you want to do is grab a knife and you want to take this and just score it down all the sides. Okay.
So it won't be too much sticky.
That will get out some of those trapped air bubbles that are inside. And then you won't have to deal with trapped air bubbles. So that these are ready to go, but we still have 15 minutes left on this clock. And remember, we don't want to leave these out on the counter for too long. So what we're going to do is we're going to put them in the fridge. And then in 15 minutes, we'll come back and check on this other cake. All right, this is, the timer just beeped, so we're gonna check this right now.
Hot pads, just in case you get...
Oh, I can already tell that this is all the way finished. So this is good. It's already coming off the sides. You can kind of see that a little bit, hopefully. It's a nice golden color. Now let's get the other two from the, okay, and Johnny wants to show how the toothpicks, so we can check that. But first we're gonna put these other two in to the oven. First of all, I kind of get the feeling like these are overfilled just a little bit. So I'm going to put a sheet underneath it first. And then we're going to put them both in the middle. Okay, just like that. And then we will close the door. And we're gonna put these in for 25 minutes and then check on them. So,
The toothpick.
all right, and Johnny is going to do the toothpick checker. And right in the middle. And that's
Good.
Show the camera, silly. There you go. So as you can see, it came out, and if it focuses on it, then you'll be able to see that it came out completely clear. So this is completely done. So we're gonna leave this for just a second, and then we're gonna take it out and put it on a cooling rack. So I can tell right here, I don't know if you guys can see, it's just a little tiny bit sticking to the side. Thank you. So what I'm going to do is just take my knife and just go around the edges. And that will just loosen it up if it is stuck on the side of the pan.
Mommy, was this already ours?
I'm going to turn it over. And then I want to cut it flat, okay?
Yeah.
So let's get...
I love this part.
Get down, please. Okay, so I'm going to get my nice serrated knife. It's like a bread knife. And that's the one that I usually get. If you could get a plate, Johnny.
Yes.
And then I am just going to level this cake off.
I love this part. You're gonna only have one. If you want to, go clean up.
Here. Thank you. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just taking off this top part and making it all the same level, which is called leveling. Now, all right guys, we're back to get some frosting made for these cakes. And so the other ones are in the oven still. So while we're waiting for those, we can get our frosting ready to go, and then that can chill in the fridge until the cakes are cooled and ready to be frosted. So let's get started with our butter. So we're going to be taking 4, what are these? Sticks of butter. Put the butter inside. Now, ideally, you want to make sure that these are at room temperature. Here we go. All right, we're going to start with just half of this bag. Of powdered sugar, okay? And then we are going to put in our vanilla, just 1 teaspoon of vanilla. There we go. Now, let's turn this up. Remember, you've got to be very slow with this in order for it not to just completely explode into your face, and then you'll have to start out really slowly. Ah! See what I mean? If you go too high, too fast, it just starts to go all over the place. But as you can see, it's starting to come off and become more frosting-like. Let's get some more powdered sugar. Okay. Careful not to get it all over the place like I'm doing. Ha ha ha. Okay. So again, let's start very slowly. If it looks like it's going to be a little bit too thick, you can always put in a little bit more milk, which we might, because it's starting to look pretty thick right now. Like it's not going to be able to handle it. So let's put in a little bit more milk, maybe 2 teaspoons of milk. And let's turn this up just a little. Ooh, and I don't know if you can see how wonderful that is looking, but
smells good. Now it was frosty. Like Frosty the Snowman.
all right, let's check that. There we go. So we're going to push down the sides like you would on a cake batter, but we want to make sure that all of the butter and all of the powdered sugar are mixing in together properly. So just make sure that you...
Even the vanilla.
Even the vanilla.
Vanilla, vanilla.
Okay, so get it right off that top part as well. Right here on the other side. Okay, awesome. All right, that's looking pretty good. Only problem is it looks like it's a little bit too stiff. So as you can see, it's very, very stuck to that spatula. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to frost with it that thick.
So we need milk.
Yep, we just need a tiny bit more milk. You've got to be careful though, because if you add too much milk, it's going to be super runny, and then you're going to have to try and balance it out with a little bit more powdered sugar. And sometimes it just doesn't work. So just 1 teaspoon at a time until it's at the consistency that you want. That's looking pretty good. Okay, so let's grab a different toothpick, unless you were able to clean the other toothpick. But we want to make sure that we get it all correctly. So let's try this again, right down the middle of this cake.
And it's looking good.
It's still just a little bit sticky. Let's see. There you go. You can kind of see it's just a tiny bit sticky. So we probably just need a few more minutes on here. All right, guys, let's check this out. The timer just went off. These are looking much better. Let's get our trusty toothpick.
My trusty butt pick.
Oh, that's actually looking pretty good.
No, it's not.
Good. Good. Okay, these are ready to come out. There they are.
Our trusty hot pans.
Right. Let's turn this oven off now. Sometimes I forget to turn the oven off, so you want to make sure that you do that. So let's make sure that...
Those circles are the head, of course. Mom, Emily really needs a nap.
Okay, well, stop fighting with her, James.
I am not.
Pretty sure you're fighting with her.
Nope. I'm babysitting you too.
No more fighting, and just go play nicely together. Yeah, you guys can hear me, yeah, telling my kids not to fight with each other. Okay, so we just got that one leveled off. So let's take this chocolate one.
Whoa.
All right, let's get around the edges. Make sure we have that. Okay, so this one's ready to be turned. And now we just need to get this one leveled off. Now, what we're gonna do is flip these over like that, and then lift up the cake pan. And look at that. Ta-da! 2 perfect looking cakes. So great. All right, we're gonna let these ones cool, and we're going to frost the first cake. All right, we have our frosting done. We have our cake ready to go. It's nice and cool now. And we need to get our bag. I have these are called couplers. And you want to use these inside your bag if you are going to be changing your tips. So I don't know if we've talked about tips before, but these are the little tips that you use to make different things. For the stars that we're going to be making all over the top of this, basically what we're going to do is we're going to cover the whole thing with these white stars. Okay, so a number 18 is the perfect one to use for the stars. We're going to cover it with stars, and then we're going to switch to a number either 6 or 3. I don't have it right in front of me yet, but we're going to switch to a different tip, and we're going to make lines across the whole thing so that it looks like you can see the outline of the shirt, and we're going to make it look like a church shirt. So what I'm going to do is put this inside, have it come down here. Johnny, will you get a pair of scissors? And we're just going to snip off this bottom part right here so that we can fit it with the tip on top of it. That way, if you have a coupler inside, you can switch. If you don't, I normally just put the tip right into the bag, especially with these disposable bags. They're so easy to just, you know, get a new one when you need it. So, snip that off. Oh, looks like we need just a little bit more. See how that works. Nope. A little bit more. Don't do it too much or else it isn't going to work. These are tiny scissors. I'm having a hard time putting those in my hands. Okay, let's see how that works out. Oh, perfect. Look at that. Okay, you want to make sure that it gets all the way around, but not too far or else it's just going to come out and your frosting is going to get everywhere. And then we just add the tip right on top of that. You can see it's number 18. And then you just secure it over the top of that. Okay, so let's turn this way for just a second. There we go. Okay, we've got our frosting ready to go. We're gonna keep this white because it's gonna be a white shirt and tie. And we're just gonna add this into our bag. Push it all the way down inside there. So, okay, so we're going to, there's always a little bit of air bubbles. And remember, we already talked about using these tips and making these stars because we practiced. Do you guys remember that? So, all right, guys, just wanted to show you. So all of the outside is taken care of. So now we're just going to do the middle. So remember, hold it up, squeeze it, push it down, and bring it back up, and it will make a star. One thing you need to be aware of and be careful of is the frosting will get a little bit soft if you keep it in your hand too long. And so what you want to make sure that you do is keep it cool. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to finish with this, and then I'll put it in the fridge to make it cool down. All right, so we're done with the initial part right here. And now I'm going to be doing the outline of everything. All right, so here is what the cake looks like. It's not the best, but it's cool. Yeah, so it's just a little shirt with a CTR tie on it, and that's what our final cake is looking like so far. Okay, last one. We're gonna get this chocolate cake covered. Johnny's gonna do this one. All right, here Johnny goes. Decorating this cake. So we're gonna slab on a little bit more.
Got it, Mom.
Great, go down the sides as well. Doing cakes is so fun. Okay, so Johnny's just finishing up his cake. He wrote Fortnite over the top of it, and now he's adding sprinkles because sprinkles are awesome when it comes to cakes.
Wait, where did it say Fortnite?
All right. So there you have it. Here, let's move this up so you can see us. There we are. Look.
The cool Fortnite.
All right, girls. Thanks for watching. Here's our cool cakes that we did with you guys.
And you can eat it.
Yummy.
Oh my
Eating
gosh.
cake is delicious. So,
We're gonna eat it.
yeah. All right. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. And someday when you guys aren't sick and your brother and your sisters aren't sick anymore, then we'll actually be able to make a cake together. So that would be fun. Yeah. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.